Good evening. It is Tuesday. It is 7:30. That can mean only one thing. The Colts got blown out by the Jaguars.
Again.
My intro to this, Robbie, I had a big intro plan, but it's just as simple as this, really. I'm an Arsenal fan, as you know. I've watched Arsenal get beat 8-2 by Man United, 6-1 by Chelsea. 6-0 by Chelsea even, 5-1 by Liverpool. I've watched us lose 2-1 to Birmingham City in the Carling Cup final. We obviously are Colts fans. I've seen Matt Hasselback at quarterback. I've seen horrendous plays by Chuck Pagano. I've seen Trent Richardson. I've seen some horrendous stuff as a Colts fan. Nothing will ever be worse than that performance on Sunday. Nothing. And I am actually just lost for words. I don't have anything to describe.
And with that, I think you should roll the credits, mate.
Roll the credits.
Because that is absolute bang on.
We'll be right back after this.
With that, mate, I'm just going to sit back and drink my cup of tea.
Okay. I mean, I know we went through a bit of a format, but I'm going to mix it up a little bit.
Unlike Frank Reich, let's mix it up a little bit. Let's deviate from our plan and actually be successful.
Yeah. So my first point is Trevor Lawrence is still a bust of a quarterback. I don't care what anyone says. I could have played the Trevor Lawrence game plan on Sunday, which was throw it to the space where there's no Colts player, which was the middle of the field, 7 yards down the field, every single play. I think Gus Bradley has some fucking explaining to do there. I owe someone a massive, massive apology. I've given this man a lot of slack, as you know, past years too. I've called out his defensive scheme, which I still stand by, is stale.
We're in a safe zone, Harrison. We're in a safe space.
I didn't question him as a personal motivator, but I did question him as a defensive coordinator, and for that I am wrong. And to Matt Eberflus, I owe a fucking massive apology. Because can you imagine Matt Eberflus letting our defense ever play like that? Now, I know we blew some leads. I know we gave up some easy yards, but we might as well not have had a defense on Sunday.
Do you know, what's even worse on top of that is that when their defense, the fourth quarter, when they were giving us space, when they've given us room, when they were just letting us play just to kind of eat up the chunk of time, and take time off the clock, we still couldn't convert it. Tom,
bring back Eberflus.
Whoa! Let's not go there just yet.
Right, but
Harrison, we were messaging on Sunday night as the game kind of went through.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts? Obviously, it's nice to get Monday out of the way.
Yeah,
because you can kind of decompress it. Where's your head at now? Just not think about the full season. Just think about the game on Sunday. Where's your head at from that?
I honestly, I'm shell shocked. I've not seen an actual beating on the Colts like that for a long time.
Sure.
You may be thinking, I'm thinking Chiefs in the playoffs a couple of years back.
Yeah. But for me now, taking that step back, the first drive, Hines got a lot of action. But then he only had 15 snaps the rest of the game. And do you know what Reich put it down to?
I don't even know.
like Pittman and Pierce, obviously they were ruled out.
Yeah.
But apparently the game plan was with them two. Now, call me fucking crazy here, right? We've got 6 wide receivers. We've got Naheem Hines and we got Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So hear me out. So the whole preseason, the whole week 1, there wasn't any plays designed for anyone else other than Pittman and Pierce. That for me is horseshit. That is just a silly excuse just to try and throw the dust back under the carpet. It's absolute horseshit. We watched Pagano with no bloody quarterbacks. Like they brought in Clipboard Jesus and some bloke from the AFL or some crazy American league and still won. Okay. Now, going on top of that, Reich's having that as the excuse. Horseshit. We didn't go no huddle until even at the end, we were still huddling. I know it's a new quarterback and it's another new, but it's not a new scheme for everyone. Most of the people, they've had the whole off season to get. So why was there no huddle? And then from that as well, it was just vanilla. Again, we're losing. So, you go more to the throwing game, but still you've got, why isn't Hines on the pitch, who was our most dynamic attacking threat? Taylor, we didn't even try getting the running game going. I know we were trying to chase it, but for me, there's just too many questions. And I'm still going back to that message I sent. Frank Wright goes to McDonald's. He orders a plain hamburger. He asks for chips with no salt, and he orders a vanilla milkshake. For me, he has lost me. And I did say beginning of the season, before you changed my mind, before you got me all hyper and excited, we've got no pass rush, we've got no wide receivers, and our tight end class is absolutely shite. And I'm still yet to be convinced.
Final shot.
Jesus Christ, Tom. I'm having a rant, mate. I'm going to top myself in a minute. In fact, I'm going to open my window.
It was a shit show. It was. Kenny Moore's been off the pace. I don't know what's up there. Kenny Moore's getting a lot of shit on Twitter for what he said, but he come out and played.
Apparently, he didn't say it. He
come out and he cleared that up straight away. I can't imagine Kenny Moore being that type of guy to come out and talk shit on Twitter about in-house stuff. I really don't think he is that type of guy. And we know he's a great player. It's just the whole team slumping. I've got a little bit of a section now. I forgot to tell you. But it's a tiny bit of a section, especially with the way we're playing. It's called Dog or Not. Now I'm going to put forward a player from this game, from this Colts team, who I think deserves to still wear the fucking jersey next week. And there's only one. Now, for me, the Dog or Not...
new kicker that didn't get a chance to kick.
Not even that. That's fantastic, but not even that. But the Dog or Not for this week, for me, is Grover Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only one who actually bothered fucking turning up. We need Shaq. I don't even think Darius Leonard solves that problem he had on Sunday. But for me, I like Grover Stewart. He has no means still be in this team. But he's obviously worth a spot, and I still think he has a lot of impact on this team. I don't know why we let Denico Autry walk, especially to the Titans. But it's the same old conversation we had with Eberflus as the coordinator, Robbie. You can't just play a front four all the fucking time.
Do you know, I totally agree with you on Grover. He's put on weight and he's doing well. Certainly he's outplaying the big contract guys in there.
Yeah.
For me, a 4 doesn't work. I think we're much better going to a 3. And obviously then you've got the outside linebackers as well. So you'll have a 5 at times, or you have a 6 with the linebacker coming down as well. It's just not working, mate. It's absolutely that's the whole thing. Isaiah Rodgers at the end of last year played some real good games. Didn't get a single snap on defense on Sunday.
I'm struggling to get it.
And this defense has got to go against old Patty Mahomes. on Sunday. But you know what? Being the first home game, it's going to be quite interesting how Lucas Oil Stadium, because it's not the most loud, it's not the most dominating. I can imagine there's going to be a lot of booing, there's going to be a lot of jeering, there's going to be a lot of frustration in there. He's gone again. And Ursay in his 3 championships in 10 years at the moment.
For me.
So we're going to go 0-3 at the start of the season. Like, there's no way. There's not a single quarter of football that we've played so far this year, and that's, what's that, 9 quarters, including that 10-minute of overtime. I've not seen a single quarter that makes me think, oh, we've got a chance. For me, we've just looked at the defense a little bit, but the offense, Matt Ryan got sacked. That's not all on that O-line. The O-line is not playing well, but it's certainly not all on him. And I said to you when we signed him, I don't think he's that much of an upgrade.
We had this conversation. Now, I still miss Philip Rivers.
But isn't he 56 now?
That's how many kids he has. He might be 65. But, and I sort of come to the conclusion that if you had him on a scale, you got Philip Rivers completely one side, you got Carson Wentz completely other side, you got Matt Ryan bang in the middle. I don't think any particular quarterback, Philip Rivers maybe in his prime is better than the other two for me. But I don't think at the time we've had these quarterbacks, any of them are an upgrade on each other. Talking of that intro, we have a Spurs fan. Mikey's in. And big game after the international break, Mikey. I'm looking forward to it. Evening, gents. I think everyone is just like, well, what was the fucking point of the off-season?
But we've said that for the last 3 or 4 years. And, how many times have we sat here looking at red zone? And how many times we fail in the red zone. Now, I'd like to bring up a little something. So last year, we completed, if I can find us, 46% of our red zone visits to points. Do you know what is this year so far?
No.
19% of our red zone visits.
Oh yeah, we got a couple of garbage time touchdowns against the Texans.
But having those, we had 2 quite late visits again, but we can't convert it. And again, it comes back to Ballard saying we've got our wide receiver group, we don't need experience. Yeah, brilliant, mate. I know we had 2 drop out.
Yeah.
However, no excuse. Our tight end room isn't good enough. And we've got the best running back in the league. We've got the best guard in the league. The fact that we can't convert these, and it's killing ourselves. How many flags again in crucial points for stupidness? And tell me when I can get onto our mate Paris Campbell.
Well, that takes me into a lovely segue, but we've got a couple of comments we'll get to.
Yeah.
Tom, starting to think our O-line is extremely, extremely overrated. Hard to judge Ryan because his protection has been poor. I sort of disagree with this, and I think as Colts fans, we shot ourselves in the foot a bit because I think we got rid of Eric Fisher, who was a serviceable left tackle. He wasn't phenomenal, but him next to Quentin Nelson still held up that left side of the line pretty much. And I think the sort of pressure to get rid of someone got rid of him, which was a bit of a domino effect.
Got rid of Glowinski, got rid of Reed.
Yeah. For no reason, we got rid of Glowinski.
Cheaper. They've gone younger, they've gone cheaper.
Mikey said it can't get much worse. Picked up a tight end today, looking in the receiver room and played. Yeah. And O-line hasn't gotten off to a good start. No. Now, this brings me on to my next point. Now, the way this team, this this franchise, or whatever they fucking call themselves, treats its legacy players is horrendous. And I don't even think it's the fans. Like, I feel like fans have a right to boo, especially when they had to find out secondhand that Andrew Luck was retiring mid-preseason game. I don't think that was necessarily aimed in angriness at Andrew Luck. It was just a raw emotion of finding out that your franchise is done for a few years at least.
Yeah.
I feel the Colts fans had a right to boo when we traded for fucking Trent Richardson, etc., etc. But what annoys me, Bill Polian, if I remember this right, Bill Polian cut Peyton Manning because he didn't think he could still play.
Yeah.
If you're being numbers-wise, the second greatest quarterback of all time, if you're being true to your word, he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
Because he had surgery. Peyton Manning said he could play. Bill Polian said no. Now I understand you pick up Andrew Luck, whatever your plan is, but yeah. And then he goes to Denver and wins a Super Bowl. You don't protect Andrew Luck properly, so that ruins his career. So that's that plan down the drain. Come fast forward, ins and outs, lefts and rights. We get to last year. There's no, what's it called? There's no openness from the organisation on what's happening with T.Y. Hilton. They just fucking, pun intended, ghosted him. And we just let Jack Doyle walk when we don't have a backup plan.
Yeah, it's a lack of succession. You know, if you look at good franchises that last a long, you know, if you look at the Steelers, you know, they've always been good. You know, they've always put up a challenge, you know, but they've always had that dominant linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, going back from the 70s all the way through to even, you know, going through to the noughties with James Harrison. James Harrison, you know, he plays for 2 years with TJ Watt, and then TJ Watt there. You know? There's always a success, you know. We had Freeney, didn't really replace him, but we had Mathis still, but we haven't really replaced him. You know, we did it with Marvin, with Reggie, with TY, but then there's no succession from TY. You know, and it's just there's nothing ever in place in terms of, right, we've got a really good, you know, nose tackle room or a really good linebacker room. How are we going to keep that fresh? How are we going to keep it? It just seems so stagnated. And I just want to, you know, I think it might be Mikey play calling. You know, we sat here and said the preseason, the off season, those games, you know, we're not going to see anything in terms of from our offense. I still haven't.
I don't get the play calling. I know I call this out probably every week, and I just don't get the offensive play calling.
You know, sometimes being too close to the action. You know, you see it in football all the time. You know, a new manager comes in, there's new energy, but he's seeing something different from the players. And at the moment, the players just aren't doing their part. But, you know, that comes down to preparation. They just don't seem to be prepared. We've just got beaten by Jacksonville after tying with the Texans.
Mikey saying, not sure if I'll agree with the Doyle part. Ballard drafted 2 tight ends and a rookie free agent. Might have made the 53 if he didn't get injured. Who got injured? Oh,
we've got Carl Granson has been there a couple of years, but not being good enough. You know, he's not getting the targets.
I do remember tight end getting injured.
Let's have a little look. Mo Ali Cox, you know, is an absolute beast, but just, you know, he hasn't got the fundamentals there.
Fundamentals yet? Isn't he like 27?
He's been playing a long time.
This is what I mean. You know, yeah, we did draft 2 free agents, and we've got Mo Ali Cox and. Sorry, we drafted 2 tight ends. We've got Mo Ali Cox and a rookie free agent.
Andrew Ogletree.
That's it. But none of these can do what Jack Doyle does.
We've got Jelani Woods, but, you know, I've not seen anything from him.
Ogletree, yeah. Yeah, Ogletree. But, okay, he gets injured. You think, right, if Mo Ali Cox gets injured, we are truly fucked at the tight end position. So you think, I know who I'll get in. Old Mr. Reliable who can get you 6 yards every play. Jack Doyle. And it's about the presence in the locker room these players have. Jack Doyle's a walk-on from India. I'm pretty sure he just walked into the facility one day and they give him a shot.
He'd been around the AFC South, but
yeah.
But even then, putting 2 rookies in a tight end position where one of them is asked to block. Quite often, Jack Doyle would be in there as a blocker. Most of his snaps were there blocking, where you don't put a rookie in there, do you? From a tight end perspective.
I'm lost at the direction of this franchise. Let's say right now, I don't see the plan, and that's what's annoying me.
Especially when all summer, all off season, we were told we're all in. This is it. For me, they're not earning their wages, and as a fan, it's bloody hard. Like if we were playing a Thursday or a Friday morning, 1 a.m., I don't think I'd be getting up at the moment.
I'm seriously considering something I've not thought about doing ever, and that's cancelling my Game Pass. And apart from it being a cost which I can't really afford it. Well, I can't afford it, but it's a nicety at this point. It's sort of getting to a point where I think they'll start finding dodgy links because it's 37 quid a month to watch 4 games, and if there's going to be 4 games of that shower of shite.
That's what NFL. The NFL is a product.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is a sport. Yes, it's something we love and we obviously adore it, and we spend hours watching and talking about it. But at the moment, it's garbage. I sat there and put on Red Zone, and you're watching the Jets make a comeback. The Joe Flacco Jets put effort in and drive, and I sat there jealous of the Jets.
I sat there jealous of the Browns.
Jacoby, Super Bowl winner, throwing the interception.
He still throws a touchdown. And Matt Ryan missed an easy touchdown. And that wasn't on protection. It was a perfectly designed play. He just didn't throw it.
Mikey. What are you taking, mate? We got...
We could win 8 games and win the Super Bowl.
You do know we got the Kansas City Chiefs.
For me, this Sunday against the Chiefs, I don't really care if we win. I just want some fucking effort.
Right. So in the last 2, so far this season, guess how many they've scored?
Tom's saying we're lucky we're playing. We're not even lucky we're playing the AFC South, mate. We can't beat fucking any of them.
Right. Combined in 2 weeks, how many points have they scored? Come on, Harrison.
The Chiefs?
Yeah, give me a guess.
I know the thingy last game was a high score. 100?
No, 71 points have scored so far this season.
Oh, yeah, 100 would be 50 points a game, wouldn't it?
So, and then when you look how many we've scored, and then bearing in mind those 2 scores came in garbage time when the Texans were, we're up, let's give them the field to kill some time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see anything less than Kansas City scoring 50 points on us.
For me, and before we get on to your best mate, Paris Campbell, I've always been a big defender of Frank Reich. I've always backed him with the quarterbacks, the injuries, the lack of wide receivers, the whatever. I'm just stumped how, for me and probably the fans watching, there's no passion. There's no accountability. There's no leadership. There's no anything. There's just that blank stare he has where he looks like a deer in headlights. You know, Doug Peterson was laughing at him in that game. Was literally, Doug Peterson went, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw a fucking screen pass. Because we know how to do it. We don't bring in our receiving running back, which every team in the league knows Naheem Hines is a receiving running back.
Yeah.
To then throw a screen pass on 2nd and 20. Right. Yeah, Mikey, drop him hot, mate.
Can I ask you a very pertinent question here, Mikey? Why the fuck would you put them in the first place? Like, you should have listened to me. Week 1, I sat here and said, I don't see how this defense is any better. Everyone's talking up this defensive line, and I just couldn't see it, and I still can't see it. You know, I still adamant we should be going to a 3-4, not a 4-3, because it's just not working. It hasn't worked for years. Bring back Chuck.
Right, and on that note, you segue in beauty. Oh, we said we'd talk about Paris Campbell, but that was a beautiful segue, so we're going to stick with it. Dream coaching alignment. Now,
I'm making a note here, Paris Campbell, because I'm coming back to that arse.
Let's say Jim Irsay, Mr. Irsay, sir, does the unthinkable.
And puts me in charge.
And just clears house, absolutely clears house. Mine. I mean, I'd keep Chris Ballard, maybe. Or let's agree, Ed Dodds would replace Chris Ballard if Chris Ballard went. Yeah. I think all Colt fans can agree with that. He chose Leonard, and I thought would be good on the back end. Yeah. So you've got 3 coaching positions to fill: specials, offense, defense. I won't say head coach, offense, and defense. I won't do special coach because I like Bubba, and I'd keep him personally. But it's up to you if you've got a wild card in there. But anyway, for me, apart from his Monday night thing, what the fuck is Peyton Manning doing apart from sitting at home?
Yeah.
That guy can read defenses better than any other player. So it makes sense. And he's a Colts legend. If we can't get Peyton, I'd compensate the Bucs heavily to get Bruce Arians back to Indy. And defense, Robert Mathis is doing nothing. Why aren't these guys around the locker room? So for me, the head coach would be Peyton. The defensive coach would be Robert Mathis, and the offensive coach, I mean, I'd take anyone who has a bit of passion for this Colts team. I like Reggie, to be fair. I wouldn't like to be that receiving core at the minute because I imagine Reggie Wayne is not a happy guy, considering that is his legacy that they are tarnishing. So Reggie, Marvin, just someone with a bit of passion. What about you?
BA was on the sidelines at the weekend.
Yeah.
So BA would be head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he's got that fire. I'm always going to be a Pagano guy, so he'd be my defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at what he did with the Ravens, you know, he had Ray Lewis, whereas now we'd have Darius Shaq Leonard.
Yeah.
I've just seen that comment that you're chuckling at. And then for my offensive coordinator, bring back Pep Hamilton.
Pep Hamilton, yeah.
Who was obviously the quarterback's coach with Andrew Luck. Was at Stanford with him, then come to the Colts with him. Just because I think he had some really good stuff. Obviously, I know he had Andrew Luck with him that made him look good. But I think he was a bit of a scapegoat that Irsay used to kind of get rid of him. So that'd be my 3, mate. But I've seen the comment which made you chuckle. So if you want to go for that one,
was it this one? I like DB. I think he's a bit too passionate to be a defensive coordinator. And
good player. Too much of a fan. Like you see him on Twitter. Yeah,
and I imagine like he'd end up putting a helmet on and running on the pitch himself.
If I was an offensive quarterback, look, run that way. You see a player, turn left. Easy as that.
And this is my favourite one, and yeah, I back it, Tom. Bubba Ventrine for head coach. I mean, for me, there's a conversation Bubba Ventrine for defensive coordinator in real life scenario. I don't see why not. He got the special teams to something special last year. Steelers have got Flores as an assistant. There as an assistant could do a lot worse.
Nah, is that the expatriates and Dolphins guy?
Yeah. But it's like we say, Frank Reich is. I don't think he's a bad coach, but I don't think he's anything more than. I think for me, Frank Reich, go and sit in the booth when they sit in the glass booth, watch it from above, and I think that's where he could excel at, like picking out a play. I don't think it's doing him any good stood on the fucking sideline.
It's got to be hard being a head coach and play caller. I know a lot that do it, but not everyone can do it. And sometimes when you're in a leadership role, it's about knowing your strengths and weaknesses.
Robbie, just because I can eat a Big Mac and drive my car at 90 down the motorway at the same time doesn't mean I do it.
As long as you haven't got the kid in the car.
Not with the kid in the car, yeah. But it doesn't mean I do it.
Unless he's old enough to start passing you the milkshake yet.
And that's when, for me, if you're a smart head coach, you go, well, maybe this is a bit too much for me. I maybe need to hand a bit of this off to Marcus Brady. Because we got rid of Sirianni, who was a great play caller. And Brady got the promotion, which he rightly deserved, I'd say. But they're not being allowed to call a game. Now, what's the point of having him? I'll tell you what, cut him, save some money, and bring in a free agent.
How many times does it pan to Reich? And he's looking like he's thinking about what he's going to have for dinner.
He's thinking about his sermon in church. That's what he's thinking about. Can't be an easy job, but how often are we seeing these calls and scratching our heads up? Yeah, I definitely couldn't call an offense for an NFL game. Not a chance. I'd lose a lot less than 0.
I'm pretty good at Madden, mate. I am pretty good at Madden.
Yeah, but just when it's the whole thing again. Like, if I can call a play out, the defensive coordinator of the other team can definitely call the play out. And I'm sitting there watching Jonathan Taylor sub off for Nyheim Hines. I'm going, well, the ball's going to Hines. I know that for a fact, because why would you bring him on otherwise? For me, there's not enough. I don't know exactly what the formation called, but two running backs formation, what the Ravens use a lot. There's not enough counter runs. We just seem to run. For me, Frank Reich's gone, oh, Quentin Nelson's the best left guard in the league. Every run is going to be to the left. Well, where's the counters? Where's the tosses? Where's the pitches? Where's the play action bootlegs?
You watch it across the league, there's so many good schemes, and you scheme for separation. And I know we haven't got the best wide receiver room, but there's a reason for that.
Wide receiver room, go into it. You segued into it yourself. Harris Campbell. Right.
The last 2-3 years I've had an issue with this guy.
Yes.
He came in talking he was the big balls, and he hadn't stayed fit. It's not. It could be his issues, obviously. It could be his own fault for some of the issues, but he's been injured. He comes back from an injury, and he takes the number 1 jersey. Now, I don't care about Pat McAfee. I care about he's taken the number 1 jersey. Therefore, he has to be the guy. If you're taking the number 1 jersey, you have to be the one. You have to be putting up absolute phenomenal numbers. And what's he done? Absolutely nothing. Like, the Paris Campbell experiment needs to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he on the field and T.Y.'s at home scratching his nuts? Now, we don't know. T.Y. might not want to play anymore. He might have just lost the juice for it. You don't know. But it's just crazy how shit he is. From separation to blocking to absolutely everything.
To getting a pass interference flag when he didn't have to do anything and setting us back 10 yards.
Yeah, and it's just so frustrating. There's so many good wide receivers that you can pick up a wide receiver off the street in America. Most of these guys are 6'5" and can run pretty damn fast.
If you can run a 4.40 or whatever they call it, you're pretty much an average receiver.
Yeah, but then we haven't got we haven't got the quarterback to do it anyway, which leads me on to I want to talk about the quarterback room.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't score, or if we only get, if we have another faltering game,
mm-hmm.
I haven't checked, but if Matt Ryan's getting all his wages, you may as well keep him in there. But get rid of him, get rid of Big Dick Nick, and just put Sammy in, and then at least you got 15 games for the kid to prove himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to know, right, he's not good enough. Well, we've lost a load of games, so we can go and get one in the draft. Stop this nonsense of just trying to plug the holes with these veteran wide quarterbacks that aren't there. The Bucs managed to do it with Brady, but they absolutely went all in. They went and got absolutely everything they needed. The Shaq Lawson, they got every single piece put in there so they can go and win that Super Bowl. Whenever else has that worked, plugging it in?
And it's stuff like, I know he's a bit controversial, I think, or he argues with Aaron Rodgers, but Cole Beasley's going to the Bucs. Now that's been a wide receiver who's just sitting doing nothing, who we could have snapped up.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially a white T.Y. Hilton.
But he's not 6'10".
But,
you can see that Ballard loves these big, tall wide receivers.
Right. This is where my problem is with this. I know it's not you. I feel like just having a go at you, but I know.
Damn mate, I've finished my tea, so don't worry about
that. But the sort of the be all and end all for me in that Jake James that just sort of knocked me right out was Jonathan Taylor's just ran for 60 yards on 2 plays or whatever it was, because Jonathan Taylor can do that. We get down to the 5-yard line and pass it 4 fucking times. Honestly, Frank Reich, I'm done with him. I'm actually done with him. And Molly Cox was not good enough because Jack Doyle catches that. How do you not get both feet down there? That for me, for a 6'7" tight end, is ridiculous. And then we try some sort of play action when we can just run it. That ends up being a flag. Jonathan Taylor was wide open for a touchdown, and Matt Ryan gets sacked. After we called a timeout, we didn't know our own play.
Oh, that was hilarious, wasn't it? In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I'm just like, honestly, I'm like,
do you know what the best thing about that? The commentator said, "Great, let's take a timeout here so we can make sure everyone's on the same page." And then we come out and get a flag. I'm like, oh.
I'm honestly lost for words. Mikey, I said last year we were lacking in the wide receiver room. Pierce had a slow start game on, but was covered by Singletary Jr. A lot of it needs to be better. I don't blame this on Alec Pierce. I don't blame this on Ogletree. I don't blame this on Dealing had a good game. Yeah, Dealing did have a good game, but
he didn't drop one in the end of this week.
With all due respect to Ashton Doolin, we shouldn't have to say that. I don't mean that as in like he's a bad player. I mean that, what is he, our 5th receiver?
We had Kiki Kuti wasn't target once. He played a couple of games into last year and he had some really nice catches. I think he came in on a special teams on a punt return right at the end of the game. It was just, but I guess because he wasn't training in the right way and they hadn't schemed up any plays for him. I don't understand that excuse. And maybe, Mikey or Tom or yourself, I don't get that excuse of Pierce and Pittman were ruled out late in the week, so we had no game plan for the wide receivers. Like,
it's laughable. It's actually laughable.
It's not hard because you've got your obviously first 15 script plays that Wright does, but beyond that, Matt Ryan has got the plays on his arm.
Yeah.
So it's not hard. You're ex-runner, so you know where you need to go. Why run it? It's not rocket science. It's football.
I understand if we don't have a game plan, if Sam Erling was quarterback, because he's a rookie QB, well, sophomore QB, whatever you call it, but he didn't play a game last year, whatever. But when you have I doubt he's going to get Hall of Fame because he's missing that one important thing. But when you have a top quarterback of all time, let's say, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough.
Oh, hold on. We had breaking news last week, but I just wanted to bring this in. Marcus Brady on if changes being considered O-line. Right now, no. We're still evaluating it. And when that decision comes, you guys will see it. But as for now, we are preparing for Kansas City.
It means nothing to me, mate. It means nothing.
No, I'm just seeing if there's any other news.
I saw some of the Gus Bradley one. The guy was... it means nothing to me at this minute in time. Unless I see something against the Kansas City Chiefs that I like, I'm probably going to cancel my Game Pass. And I think that's literally, like I said, I'm not paying 40 quid a month to watch this.
No, I do get that, mate.
But these aren't players that are other teams that are crapping themselves. Yeah, exactly.
Well, as you know, we like to get positive. And at the moment, we're one game away from being top. So we're one game away from being top of the AFC South. You know, it is an absolute bum of a division, of a group. So, you know, get past Kansas. Shaq comes back. Pat McAfee starts punting again.
Any 1% back.
I don't think they'd dare come out with anything cheesy.
You know what I mean, mate? I love the positivity train, but at the minute, the Indianapolis Colts are the Frank Reich's Friends Club. And if you're Frank Reich's friends, you get money, you get put on the roster. And if you're not, then see you later. And that's as simple as it is for me. I mean, there we go. We'll beat the Chiefs this weekend. Somebody needs to be as positive as Tom.
See, it's usually you, Harrison. Usually after defeat, you're like, "Oh, we're still going to go 15-1 and 0-1, whatever we are now."
Technically, we've only lost one game.
Yeah, that first one felt like a loss, didn't it?
I mean, we could be 1-1-1. We could be. It is possible.
No, don't get this into my head. No, I'm not spending the week getting bloody positive again because it's the hope that kills you. I'm not doing it, Harrison. No more. I'm not letting your naivety, your disgusting positivity work your way into my mind. No, Tom, go home. It's not happening.
Right. My last point. Sorry, I got distracted by positivity for a second. The Frank Reich Friend Club. For me, there's nepotism going on. How does Nick Foles get?
That's a big word.
It's a big word, and from a Northerner as well. How the fuck does Nick Foles get a roster spot? I'm a Super Bowl winner. My ass, he couldn't throw against fucking guys who are now working in McDonald's. You know, it should be Sam Erlinger. As we've seen, maybe I want to say with T.Y. Hilton, maybe if you're not on the Frank Reich Friend Club, see you later. Must be used to it being a star.
What a prick.
Run the damn ball, keep yeah, but at some point he's going to get a chance on the field, isn't he?
When Mahomes gets on the field, it's 40 seconds and he's just got another touchdown.
Okay. Rant's over. The Chiefs are coming up on Sunday.
I don't usually by the end of the session, I usually feel like I've got it all off my chest, but it's still there.
And I
I'm
think
not watching ice hockey.
Robbie, I've
Harrison.
got one question to try and get this positive. What's one thing you need to see on Sunday? And I don't want, we need to try hard or what, we need to score. I want one thing that you need to see from this team.
I was going to say passion, but as I'm not allowed to say that, I would say excitement. So get the crowd excited.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have that game plan exciting and dynamic, and just, go on Google, just type in fun plays. Let's just stop trying a screenplay for trying to get 15 yards. Let's work the wide receivers to get separation. Everyone else seems to do it, so why can't we? So that's what I want. Dynamic. I want to change my word to I want it to be dynamic.
Dynamic. I like it. For me, it's simple. At the minute, we're like let me see.
In a thunderstorm.
I'm gonna go more American cheese on you here, mate. But we're like it's like Rocky IV. But our best mate's just been killed by a Russian monster in Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson does look like Eastern European, I must say.
Where are you going with this analogy? Because I'm well confused right now.
Anyway, right. So our best mate's just been beat up. Our team has just been absolutely whooped back down to college level. We've got 3-4 days. I don't even know what day it is because of the bank holiday, but we've got 3-4 days to train hard now to go running up Frank Reich's metaphorical fucking mountains that he loves, to lift the horse, whatever. And now we've got to get in the ring with the juggernaut that is Patrick Mahomes, who plays in red and yellow like Ivan Drago. And I need to see him bleed. I need to see that cut. There needs to be a punch back now. And that's what I need. There just needs to be a punch back. And I don't need a win, but I just need that punch back. I need that fight, like you say. That dynamic. I need that. Okay, the Colts mean business. They might not have won, but they've finally woken.
Yeah. Well, I'm still confused by that, but I'll get it. And just to finish on a positive.
Yeah.
This year for the Hall of Fame, there's 7 Colts players up for it. So we've got obviously Reggie. Obviously, has been up for it before.
Mikey gets it. I cried on the yes, we're like a Rocky film. We're coming back. I can feel it. And
good.
And it's not going to be chance of Rocky, mate. It's not going to be chance of Ryan. It's not going to be chance of Foles. It's going to be Erlinger.
Fuck me, dead. I hope so. Anyway, so it's these 7: Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark, Jeff Saturday, Dwight Freeney, Bobby Mathis, and Bob Sanders, who we all know. But Pat McAfee's up for it as well.
I don't think Pat's ready for it yet.
He's going to get it just because his media presence.
Yeah, he's a global superstar. On that note,
how have we just got a 59-minute show out of that? I do not know. But Mikey, Tom, you absolute superstars. Thanks for coming and hanging with us. Yeah. Harrison, I'm going to go and cry. I might even go watch Rocky IV to see if I can get pumped for it.
Watch it and message me when you got the reference. But remember, Erlinger. Erlinger's my guy. I've said it. I'm ready to ride that train.
Sammy the Slinger. All right, buddy.
All right, bye-bye.
Night all.